evening. Hello. Right, just let you know, I am here. I'm just going to go pee. I'm going to mute headphones and stuff. You won't be heard through stream anyway. Stream has started with the rolling credits for 10 minutes. See you soon. I did the thing. It's all good. Yeah, you guys can't be heard on stream yet, so don't worry. Oh, I can. Hang on. Whoops. Hello, good evening, and welcome to episode 2 of the Antillian Mysteries. We are live. We are here. We are ready for episode 2. I hope you guys are too. I'm quite looking forward to it. We have a more or less full complement of players tonight, which will be nice. See where today goes. So, let us. Speaking of players, let us say hello to players. Hello peoples. Good evening. Good evening. It's 1 a.m. It's 1 a.m. We is prompt. We is on time for once. This never happens. mostly intact, and hopefully the sky will not be falling down. So to speak, boo to ISPs, boo, boo, boo his boo. Oh, boo mic. There we go. Cool. How are we all? Fantastic. That is fine. Yeah, so we can't be doing without a bard to entertain us on our wondrous journey. Players on mute on the stream. Yes, indeed they are. There they are. Thank you very much, Tyler, for reminding me of that. Production values. There we go. Now everybody can be heard. Hello, everybody.
Hola.
Hi. We had a practice hello.
Yes, we had a practice hello. I forgot to in fairness, it's probably good we had a practice hello because I kind of sprung on them that we were live. All is good with the world, indeed. So
I felt like Sarah and I were entertaining enough last week, weren't we?
Yeah.
Ourselves. I don't know. It kind of
indeed,
then
well,
also turned topsy-turvy.
last week was certainly entertaining. I will give it that. It was utter chaos. D-Club hype indeed, Sokoram. So, for the remainder of the stream, I will be keeping an eye on chat. I will not be responding to chat because I wish to focus on the players and the game. Good evening, Aiden's son. So, hello. Hopefully we have a full complement. So, last week was...
Daniel, you can have all the compliments. I love you. Okay, carry on.
I love you too. This is mostly awkward because husband and wife, both, one of them loves me. It's Aiden.
I just won't say anything. I'll leave you guys to it. Obviously, you have a really good thing going. You know, good luck.
We were made for each other with our potent wind. Anyway, so moving swiftly on from that. Last week we began our adventure anew on stream after having fought the bandits on the road between Squalton and Cothston. You ascertained that they were indeed a group called the Uncloaked, courtesy of Vistra's very well-timed charm. You ascertained that they were based in Kunthur, an abandoned town to the west of the Brisbane Forest. You, since then, went back into Cothston, managed to slightly embezzle more money from your employers based on some unfortunate events regarding Irid, your dragonborn wizard.
Tyler can never, or Irid can never come back to Cothston without being in disguise.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how that goes.
It's that.
Either that or Jack's on the hook for the 100 gold.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
What is going on? I didn't... What? Where's my pony? I'll sell my pony.
That will give you maybe 30 gold.
Why is
Maybe.
the pony only 30 gold? What kind of pony is this?
It's a small pony just like you.
Wait.
Second hand now. Indeed, so after embezzling an extra 100 gold from your current employers, you went to have some drinks, as you do, at the local tavern. You collected Stein. Fairly uneventful drinks. You did find a gentleman in the corner in the morning afterwards by the name of, I won't say Grant. Grant Ava, who was a clerk at local town hall whose daughter had been kidnapped. You don't know where said daughter was gone. You then tried to go and visit the local sheriff and declared that you were definitely not prostitutes, then burst into tears and then left, leaving him rather confused.
And then winked at the deputy.
And then went to the deputy. Yeah, you've left a fantastic impression on local law enforcement. You then. It was rather interesting. You then met Karim, the local farrier who owns local stables, and purchased a horse and a pony. And we find ourselves picking up now on the very outskirts of Cothston, on the edge of Cothston, looking at the west road along the edge of the Brisbane Forest, with your horse, with your pony, and with someone riding an elk.
I am set elk, by the way.
You are set elk.
We never figured out who was riding.
Yeah, who's riding the elk?
That's a
Who is riding Vistra?
Whoa, wait.
I didn't want to say it like that. That's why I avoided saying it like that last
Call it
time.
what it is.
Here we are.
Who is riding hashtag Vistrolk?
Let me see what my animal handy. I only have a +2.
I'm not some wild, crazy
I know.
thing.
I'm trying to think, do I want to ride the horse that could potentially, not be a good thing? Or do I want to know that Vistra, is there gonna be, giving me safe passage?
Indeed. Oh yes, one thing we did forget to mention. Sorry, upon the battle with the rogue group, Irid, your dragonborn wizard was unfortunately affected and vanished from the field of the battle. You did find a golden necklace with a locket on it, similar to with a similar pendant to Irid's dragon scale. Where is said pendant at the moment? Sorry.
It is around Quinn's neck right now.
Around Quinn's neck. Okay. Is it on show or is it underneath clothing?
Kind of underneath, kind of hiding.
Okay, that's fine. Fantastic.
It doesn't really go with her outfit, so.
Wow.
Important
Wow,
things, of
jewelry
course.
change.
Important
She's
things.
more of a silver lady than a gold.
I see. Okay, so you are on the outskirts of town. You have your steeds. What do you wish to do?
Can I just ask, what was Tara helpful in any way whilst I was?
Tara was mostly looking after Jack, who was not feeling too well, so was up in his inn room, trying to keep him out of trouble. I shall put the map of the region
Her,
up.
so she's probably really eager to get going.
So your name is not on a piece of
this.
paper, so that's always the good thing.
Indeed. At present, you are currently here.
I see it.
Okay. Who is getting this? So is it like a brown horse that we got?
The horse you got is a brown horse with a dark brown mane. The pony is a white and grey speckle.
Okay.
Feel free to name them, should you please.
Okay, so who wants?
She wants to stay mobile, so yeah.
So wait, you're gonna walk?
For now, I think she'd probably want
We-
to walk.
Had bought the horses, and then Vistra turned into an elk so we can be more mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I
Save
didn't
money.
realise.
Yeah, technically there are 3 mounts and 3 people.
We thought
Sorry,
it out.
Vistra.
Oh, Tara's. That's fine. I mean, Tara's not gonna.
Just so I'm
quick to
clear,
pick.
because I'm a bit slow.
Yeah.
Erin is a mount now?
No,
No, I am.
that would be
Oh,
Vistra,
sorry.
our other dwarf.
Yes.
Okay.
Erin
Sarah.
is Quinn.
Okay,
I'm
sorry,
Quinn,
I've
I'm a
got that written
tiefling.
down.
I'm
No, it's
gonna
all
punch
good, it's all good.
things. I'm not gonna turn into animals.
I turn into an elk on occasion.
Awesome. Wait a minute. So, wait a minute.
You have the
You're an elk
pony.
is-
You're the one that
Yeah,
we
I've
don't
got
need
the
to worry
pony.
about.
Okay. I know. I'm not saying I want
I
to
know.
ride Sarah.
Yikes.
Just saying.
I'm
That
pretty
is
sure Sarah wouldn't let you ride her.
Mutual.
Anyway,
That's a yikes from
Wait.
me.
so Vistra
Okay.
is an elk.
Bye.
Elk. Yep.
Have a pony. Where's
have
the
a
third?
horse.
I
We have
have
a
a horse.
So we have a horse and a
And
pony.
we don't know who's.
And an elk.
We don't know if Quinn's gonna ride the horse, or if Tara's gonna ride the horse.
It really just depends on who wants to look majestic on an elk.
Lights.
Tara's just like listening to everyone
I
talking
knew
about
it.
who's taking what, and Tara just steps up and she's like, "All right, I'll do it." And she just kind of doesn't really make too much ceremony of it. She just slings her stuff over her shoulder, and she's like, she comes over to Vistra and so, like, obviously beforehand, Vistra had for some reason, wasn't it? Didn't you think that I'd actually shot you? So I think this is about payback. I'm gonna sit on you. You're gonna carry me.
You did shoot me.
Oh.
Pretty sure you shot me.
Do I look like the kind of person that would shoot you?
Sarah.
So where are we
So
going?
yeah, at current, Tara's sort of like talking to Vistra in elk form. Vistra is responding with a.
Yeah, and she's like, "All right, giddy up." Hey, Sarah, this is what you wanted all along, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, she's going to like. I can't even say it without laughing. I'm gonna mount you. I'm gonna mount the elk. Cool.
Okay. Not a problem.
Eyebrows do a
Uh,
dance.
There we go. So, Terra riding the elk. Quinn gets the horse. What are you going to name the horse? Are you going to name the pony, or are you just referring to him as horse and pony for now? Are you trying not to get
Just
attached?
horse and pony for now. Quinn will think of a name. She thinks of a nickname for everything. She nicknames
true.
Sparkles. She nicknames
Or
Sparkles.
legs.
Indeed. Okay, so
Speaking of which, whatever happened to Bob, Sparkles' hand that he does not call Bob because that's only what Quinn would call the hand.
the hand was nowhere to be seen at the scene of the incident, the scene of the fight. When you found the locket, all you know is that Irid with hand has disappeared,
Gotcha.
and
Okay.
cursed locket
Yes.
is currently with you. So,
Tara doesn't have anything to do with that.
okay. So, do you wish to? Where do you wish to go?
We were going to go to, is it
Kunthur.
Kunthur.
Neoler? We're going to go to.
Oh wait, I mean.
But we're going to go through, is that
Neola.
Neoler?
Neola. Yeah.
We're going to take the road, go around.
that's fine.
Because it was either 4.5 days walking or 3 days riding the
Oh,
horse.
we're getting back into this.
Yes.
No problem. Okay, so in that case, can I have from Jack? From are you willingly letting Terra?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. In that
You
case,
better be.
can I just have animal handling checks from Quinn and Jack, please?
Oh no, this is not good.
See how well you muster your steeds. Can I have a
4. This is why.
Alright.
I was like,
Alright,
I don't
we're
have
just
a
gonna
good
get-
animal handling chat. Animal handling. I'm gonna punch the wow.
What is Jack's animal handling check?
11.
11. Okay, that's not bad. Jack sort of gives a little sort of like clip of his heels, and pony sort of like just sets off at a gentle kind of like just a gentle walk down the road, following Vistra. Quinn has a little bit more trouble, sort of like the horse sort of refuses a couple of times before eventually sort of like slowly trudging behind the pony and the troop, and we are off heading west. Go west. Across the but I couldn't resist. Across the base of the Perizidon Forest. Half a day's travel goes by, and it was about early afternoon by the time we set off. All said and done, by the time we'd bought horses and supplies. The terrain noticeably changes very quickly outside of Cothston. The further west you go, the air becomes a little bit more forgiving. The ground a little bit more lush and green, and trees start to sprout as you approach the edges of the forest. Can I have survival checks from who's leading the group?
It's what?
Who's leading the group?
Jack. No, just kidding.
I was gonna say.
Wow. Thanks.
Bard on the pony out in front. That would be amazing. Yeah, whoever's out in front can have a survival check, please, just to see sort of like how well we're traversing the road, how quickly we're going.
I mean, I am one with the forest. I feel like
We'll
Fine.
let the elk lead.
I'm just saying.
Okay, so the elk and Terra.
Okay, in that case,
So Vistra and Terra.
survival check with advantage then, or you can roll one each. Up to you.
Do you want to roll on each?
I got one each, and I got a. I got a 6 plus 5, which gives me 11.
Okay.
Well, I
okay.
just rolled a natural 2 plus 4 to make 6.
We're rolling well tonight, people.
This is not
strong.
even fun for me. I have come out with
This is
Okay,
good.
I'm not, flirting or trying to talk my way into more money, so
That's always good. That's
Why
always
not?
good.
It doesn't matter if I already bought the horse. I already bought the supplies. They're at our beck and call now.
Not
Okay,
a
to-
fair
problem.
enough.
Yeah, they can
Okay.
if they're gonna cause issues, we'll deal with it later.
Okay, so going is a little slow. Sort of the path sort of like through this area sort of like seems to sort of like just almost disappear into sort of like the rolling plains a little bit, and then reappear, and you kind of realise that sort of like oh balls, it's over there. You kind of strayed a little bit, but you managed to keep more or less on track. Starting to get towards about early evening now. You are probably about half a day away from Nearler.
And at what time are we? What time is it
Talking-
currently then?
It's about early evening, so it's probably sort of like, maybe sort of like 6-7 o'clock. Sun's sort of like starting to fade down over towards the distant horizon. It's not dipping below it yet, but the light is definitely sort of diminishing. The forest you can see in front of you now, sort of like beginning to sort of like crop up on the horizon. Sort of like outcrops of trees are sort of melding into more woodland, into more thick, dense kind of canopies that you can sort of see ahead of you, sort of like to your northwest directions.
Forget
you wish to-
Been like sat
Do
on
you-
Vistra the whole time, right?
Hmm?
And I've been sat on Vistra the whole time. I'm just like, God, Vistra, like, why does your spine have to be so bony?
Ah.
I'm just like wiggling my butt.
Was that the response?
That
From
was
this
that was the elk's response. Vistra at the moment is an elk, so in terms of language, I suppose
There's no communication.
Vistra can say
Cannot
whatever
speak.
the hell she wants,
Oh,
and all you would hear is grunts and
she's
okay, so
remembering everything.
you are faced with a choice. Do you wish to push on sort of like further into the night towards Nearler, or do you wish to make camp?
I'm trying to remember what did we talk about, Sarah, last time? Were we saying we were going to push onto Nealer and like get there and then maybe like rest there, or were we going to sleep on the road?
I can't remember what we agreed upon.
I know we talked about this for 15 minutes.
I know.
My notes aren't. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think that would be important for some reason, but here we are.
I know. I forgot.
Look,
to
my ass is getting sore sitting on Vistra, so I would really love to just give my legs a bit of a stretch. So, if anything else, just stop moving for a bit, Vistra. Let me jump off of you.
Wow.
If you want the,
Oh wow! Now
the
you can
horse
talk.
with the saddle.
Okay.
Off.
What are we doing?
Well, we can. Oh. Ah.
So like, where are we, Dan? Can you like mark on the map where are we at this point?
Currently, you're around. Hang on. Currently, you're around here.
Okay,
So it's
and
starting
this
to get towards the
is
end of the woodland.
okay. And you said the moon is in the waning phase, right?
Oh my gosh, I forgot we talked about moon phases.
We did. Yes, moon is waning.
Okay, so it's not a full moon. Okay. But at least there's the moon. Quinn kind of enjoys being at least out. Is it cloudy, or is it a clear sky and you can see the moon?
It's not a completely clear sky, but the clouds aren't full coverage. There is sort of like a very sort of slow rolling sort of tundra of clouds above you. Sort of like, again, not anything particularly.
Okay, but like the
dense.
moon
But with
shines every once in a while, and
yeah, so every now and then sort of like it glimpses through the clouds. So
I
with the rainforest nearby, it kind of like it creates quite a kind of a more humid climate than Cothston itself.
okay. Quinn is completely at ease in the night. This is like her element. So if the longer she can be out and awake in this, the better for her.
I mean, Tara is supposed to be good at hunting things, so she's not. This is like probably really great hunting time as well. So if anyone's feeling hungry, in fact, she's just kind of like, so do we want to stop here? If we do, I'm ready to go out and get some game if you want some. There might be some squirrels and rabbits running around here I can get.
Didn't we took Sir, did we grab food from the inn before we left?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Because I just so happen to have here in a page of notes that I definitely do have somewhere. 6 pages.
From the first
I
section.
have
I'm impressed.
2, well, kind of. I have 2 pieces of cheddar and 2 handfuls of herbs, so I'm set.
Need me.
remember-
I'm gonna go out and get some food.
I was saying,
are
I know
you
Quinn
setting up
grabbed
camp for
some
the
of-
night?
Some food, so.
Okay.
What was it, Dan?
Are you setting up camp, or are you just stopping to grab food and then carrying on? What is your intention?
Well, we can't ask Vistra
mighty
about
group of
this.
mightiness.
If Tara gets off of me, I'm gonna change back into my
Okay.
dwarven
Okay.
form.
Oh,
The,
she's
uh,
off. She's off
the-
of you.
Can you do that at will then?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So many times a day, isn't it?
Yeah.
No problem. Okay, so there we are. So currently on the road, sort of like there's small amounts of, say, woodland nearby. Ooh. Small amounts of woodland nearby. Let's zoom in a little bit. There we go. Small amounts of woodland nearby. Sort of like you could try and set up camp if you wish.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna look towards Hey Quinn, you know, do you want to kind of? You seem to be want to kind of be the leader of the group, because I'm happy to follow orders. Honestly, I feel like I can trust you. If you want to tell us where to go. I'm going to trust Vistra, even though thanks Vistra for not at least bucking and throwing me off of your back. I'll get you an extra juicy squirrel, okay?
I'm a vegan.
You can have whatever the nuts it had in its stomach, yeah? There you go. Extra fermented squirrel nut stew.
Great.
Ooh.
I'll try anything once.
Quinn. Let's see how this goes. And we can determine stuff from there. We've only really done stuff with an employer.
We've cried a lot.
We've cried a lot. I don't know if you guys were, like, maybe you were out of the building when we did this,
Yeah,
but we
they were
cried a
outside.
lot.
They were both outside.
We panicked a few times. There were a few things said, but you know, we did get the information. And we did get more gold, so let's just see how it goes.
And obviously, no one's going to talk to Jack about being a leader because, you know, don't tell him. But
Oh, Quinn will at that point.
What?
No.
What do you mean no?
I mean, you've already.
You guys are
clearly-
going to learn things
Hey,
about
Jack, where are we
Let me
headed?
tell you. What?
Where are we
We
headed?
are headed to Scrolton.
And
Yeah,
that's why you are not the leader.
you might have come up a little bit short there, Jack.
Ooh.
This is bullying. My pony is very upset.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well,
they were talking about the
guess
pony. Okay.
Who earned us enough money to get this pony and horse and supplies?
Hey,
It was me and Vistra. You just signed a paper.
fine.
Yeah, you did put your name to the essentially the accountant side of
You
the
basically
Grindraw
made
masonry.
me responsible.
Vistra can't read or write. I was too emotionally distraught to sign that paper stating that Sparkles was dead.
For the record,
Okay.
I was not serious about the illiteracy.
So
I
you know, I
was
just
serious
like
about being sad.
just like awkwardly patting Jack on the head and being like, "Don't worry, buddy."
Don't pat
Right,
me on the
yeah.
head. I'm not a pet.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, we appreciate everything that you do for us. Okay.
Nobody
I don't
pats a
appreciate
dwarf.
being patted.
Who's Pat?
I guess the pony.
Pat the pony.
The pony, we've got it. That's it.
Oh,
Pat the
dearie
pony.
me. Okay. Are you guys setting up camp?
I think so.
Okay. I think at this point
Dear Quinn.
we've been talking.
Nominated
Well, I
leader.
can't. I also can't shift back into an elk, so
Yeah, I suppose you need a long rest, don't you?
Is this
Yeah.
a good, like, what does the spot look like? Would this be a protected enough spot for us to kind of...
Make a survival check.
Oh, this is not gonna go well. Very good. Okay, we're gonna go with this dice this time.
I'm looking
Natural
forward to
20.
dice.
Natural
Wow, okay.
fucking 20.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. You're definitely staying leader.
Okay,
I've had really poor rolls.
Quinn, so this is funny because Quinn does not go out in nature at all.
Looking round sort of from up on the horse, sort of like you get a slightly better vantage point, and you scan the horizon, and you do see a small patch of woodland just to the north of the road that looks like it actually sort of like although the terrain looks like it kind of continues onwards, you can tell from your vantage that actually the terrain dips down and is almost looking a little hollow within that woodland that would be fairly well protected from the road.
Hey guys, I found a spot.
Okay.
It's
All right,
probably
well-
about 30-40 yards off the road.
Okay. Yep, we're gonna go there.
Okay.
We're bringing the horse and the pony.
Okay.
We're gonna set up a shop.
Going to go into about here.
And I separate from the group a little bit and start going hunting to get some grub.
Yeah, no problem. Survival check from you.
Check.
Survival.
Listen, I'm going to do a roll on here because, yeah. I can't do it. Hold on. Tell you what.
Oh.
I got a 10 and my survival plus is +5 for 15. I got 15
nice.
in totes.
As the sun's setting, sort of like, you know, it's starting to get sort of a little bit dusky now, and sort of like, you know, you are looking around, sort of like it's a little tough to see, but you do actually manage to see sort of like a few sort of like rabbits sort of like jumping about the woodland, the area that you're in, and sort of like the surrounding trees. You managed to bag 2 or 3. Also, say you're a very accomplished hunter in terms of these lands. So you do have, as well as your supplies, 3 nice fresh conies that you can cook up as you please.
Okay, well, I'm gonna, if we've got a fire going in the camp, I am going to bung those over the flames and let's get a good roast going, guys. We've got some grub.
I'm gonna eat my cheese.
Bit of a
Did we
barbecue.
start that, guys?
Can I say that I picked up a few berries along the way just for Vistra to
Yeah.
say thank you?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely fine. Yeah, you managed to find sort of like a couple. You actually managed to find not only some berries, but a couple of nice little patches of herbs that you think are quite nice.
Sure.
So,
Wynn's gonna eat the leftovers she packed up in the...
no worries, no worries. Okay, so as the sun begins to set, is anybody keeping watch, or are you just all bedding down for the night?
Gwen will do the first watch.
Okay.
Considering she does have dark vision.
Yeah, not a problem at all.
Does anyone
that's-
else have
okay.
dark vision?
That's the point.
I do.
Tara wouldn't as a human. Jack,
I
I
have
believe, would
it.
as a dwarf. Yeah.
A
Yeah.
pendant has arrived.
As a I see.
A necklace.
Sparkles.
Okay,
Sparkles.
that's fine.
Okay, sorry.
Erin, on first watch, please make a perception check.
Oh god. Okay, which dice? Which dice? Which dice? Let me make sure. Let me pull up my stats so that way I know. 8 plus 2 is 10.
10, okay. Looking around, sort of like you're very well protected in the small hollow that you've managed to find. There doesn't seem to be any movement on the road particularly. You know from living in this area that this direction isn't particularly well travelled, seeing as Kunthur being an abandoned village. There's not much to go there for. There's also a couple of local legends around the area that generally people don't want to go there. You do sort of hear in the distance a kind of a very faint coming from the forest itself. Not quite sure what it is from this distance, but you are wary of it. Rest of the watch passes without much incident. Who's taking second watch?
I
So-
can.
Okay, Jack, you got it.
Not a problem. Jack, make a perception check.
Do I roll a d20?
You do, and add your perception skill, which is on your sheet. It's kind of like the middle left-hand side set of stats. There's perception on there. Yeah.
I said I can't find the sheet.
Oh boy.
I sent it you.
Did you? How?
There's this thing called the internet.
Right.
On the Book of Face.
Well, I rolled 17.
Wow. Okay. I can download your sheet as well.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
And your perception is a -2.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Jack,
So,
very, very charismatic, not very wise.
why have you made my character so oblivious?
No reason.
I feel like this is a poor representation of me in real life, or maybe accurate. Shut up. Go on, carry on.
So 15 total. Have you got your sheet on the message now?
I do.
Fab, cool.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries.
Thanks, Dad.
Welcome. Don't lose it again.
Stand.
So you
I said Dad.
You look around, Daddy. You look around, sort of like keeping an eye sort of on the forest after Quinn did advise of the noise from that direction. All seems to be fairly quiet. There is a couple of lights that you do see, sort of like, spinning your head back round towards Cothston. You see sort of like a very faint, distant torchlight sort of going towards the town itself, which isn't uncommon of people travelling up and down that highway. The watch passes without too much incident. Who is taking the third and final watch?
Happy to do that. I'm gonna get up and be like, yeah, I'll do it.
No problem.
Full night's sleep for me.
Okay. Indeed.
an
If you would
elk.
make a
Yeah, you've
perception
been
check,
carrying
please.
Chorna around.
It's starting to become early hours of the morning now. The sun is beginning to rise. Just past the mountains, you can see sort of like glimpses of rays passing through the clouds over the mountains to let you know that the night is ending. Can you make a perception check, please?
Sure. Hey, good luck, everyone. I'm about to do a perception check. I got a 17. Hold on a sec. Where's my perception?
Perception.
Just bear with me. Where's my perception?
Middle.
Oh yeah,
left
plus
box.
5. So 17 plus 5. So
Wow.
I've got what?
22.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Tara, being a ranger and being very very perceptive, is used to this terrain and sort of like manages to sort of like just scale herself up a little bit of a tree, sort of like to get a bit more of a better advantage over the road ahead. You do see sort of on the distant horizon, you do see sort of like some movement over by the tree line of the forest. You see sort of quite a large sort of like hulking sort of bulking figure.
Okay.
Sort of like stalking the edge of a tree line. And it is also at that moment that there's kind of a Quinn. You feel a sort of like a slight kind of vibration around your being, and sort of like it kind of wakes you from your slumber a little bit. And sort of like looking down, you realise that the necklace itself is glowing a little bit and actually sort of shaking. It's kind of like sort of it's almost like something's trying to sort of like escape. And before you kind of realise what's happening, there is a flash. And standing in the middle of a camp, looking very sort of confused and almost like he's mid-cast of something from the battle previously, stands a dragonborn Irid.
Ooh.
Sparkles.
Plot twist.
Irid, so, welcome Tyler. If you would like to describe how you look.
All right. Well, Irid is a prismatic dragonborn, so he looks very fancy and very unique compared to other dragonborns. Very sparkly, shiny. He's also wearing I believe I said chainmail. Let me check real quick. I have it over here. Yes, I'm wearing he's wearing chainmail. And he's wearing this thick, heavy armor. But what you can see of his scales, like I said, they are very shiny and sparkly, hence Quinn's nickname.
Sparkles.
Yes. He also does have a few bits of jewelry adorning himself. One in particular is his signet ring on his right hand, which indicates that he is a prince. Yes. He's very tall. He's 6'3". So he towers over most of the party, or all of the party rather.
Half the party being
Um,
dwarves.
So
That's
he's
not hard to
almost
do.
a full foot taller than Quinn.
Oh no, not 6'3". Sorry, he's 6'9".
He is a
Oh my
full
gosh.
He is,
foot
so
and a
he
half
is tall.
taller than Quinn.
Yeah. He doesn't have like the dragonborn tendrils at all. He just keeps them short. His eyes are like a deep blue sapphire. And alongside on top of it, he has his like book on his side. He has a long sword, and then sitting on his shoulder is his crawling claw familiar.
It's
So
Bob!
it's not Bob.
That's Quinn's nickname for him. Sorry.
You don't get to name him Bob.
Well, guess what? She's nicknaming him Bob. Because we'll get to it.
Mhm.
There's a reason.
But yeah, in terms of Dragonborn, he looks fairly intimidating. This massive figure of shininess.
Okay.
So, Iri, the last thing you remember is sort of like, just this feeling of sort of like this arcane sort of like imposing on your being from the bandit fight as you considered it to be before. Following that, you are bamfed into this space, standing sort of like over a Quinn whose top is slightly ripped now, considering you've literally just burst through it.
Okay,
yeah,
it was under
okay.
her sorry. So
I did ask where it was for a reason.
I know, I said it was underneath stuff, so it's under the sari, not underneath the tight blouse.
That's fine. I said the sari itself is slightly ripped from having a 6'9" dragonborn being thrust out of it.
Out of your chest.
A way to fix this, Sparkles.
I do.
So you currently have no clue of where you are. But to say you knew you were on a road before. You're currently in a small woodland with a campfire and a Jack sort of like snoozing sort of at the moment, who hasn't quite woken up yet. Every time Jack takes a breath, the sort of like the bagpipe sort of as part of his accoutrement sort of going.
Wait, just imagine like the bagpipes to like his sleep apnea machine.
That's probably why Tara decided that she really had to take the third watch, because she just couldn't take trying to sleep when he was trying to sleep.
So-
By the way, guys, there's like a big hulking form on the at the edge of the forest here. She's going to pick up like an acorn or something from one of the trees and just like throw it down at the crew and try and get their attention. Like, guys.
Okay.
Well, is Quinn still like half like? Is she still kind of like in sleep?
Oh, you've woken up with a bit of a start, considering that you've just had a dragonborn thrust out of your chest.
So like I'm probably like sprung
It's
up.
alarming.
Dude, now I wish I had the. Okay, never mind.
Wow.
Quinn, what happened?
First off, Quinn's gonna give him like a light punch, not hard enough to hurt.
Okay.
She's gonna punch him in the shoulder, which is gonna pretty much. She's like, considering he's a foot and a half taller than her, a little bit far of a reach.
Above her head.
Well, we had to kill a couple of men for you, Sparkles. Don't know what happened. And we did not get any money from that. Nope, didn't get any money. But we somehow you disappeared in a flash of light, and I killed a man by kicking him.
You ended his family.
I ended his family because he was doing weird stuff to you.
He was, yes. Weird stuff is indeed true.
Yes. We are now we're now on the road to go find out about those weird people that attacked us, as well as trying to find a man's daughter who disappeared, which we don't know if we'll actually be able to do, but we were hoping for money and we did not really get a promise of money.
So what happened to the job we were doing?
You died.
Obviously not.
It's done, but we lost some stuff on there, so we didn't get paid.
Make a deception check.
Do I make an insight check?
Yeah, go for it.
16.
I rolled a 16 with a deception of +3, so I rolled a 19.
Ooh, okay. Seems like Quinn's telling the truth.
All right. I'm
We-
just
Yeah.
confused.
We have some cool stuff from those guys though, but yeah, other than that, we did not really get anything.
So where are we now?
We're in the edge of the forest between Cothston's and Neeler. We're gonna go check out Kunthur because Vistra here was awesome and actually talked to one of the people.
I talked.
And she got information. So we're gonna go figure out who these people are and why they are attacking you.
Well, specifically, they wanted the prismatic one, and you're prismy.
You kind of became a necklace. Which, Dan, is the necklace still there or is it just gone?
The necklace at the moment doesn't seem to be there at all. It literally sort of seems to almost. There's almost like a slight vague kind of like. There's a slight sort of like mark, sort of like a slight sort of like dullish kind of like grey sort of like mark where the edges of the necklace were against your collarbone. The necklace itself is gone. It is also at that moment sort of an area, sort of like almost like kind of like you feel this kind of like instability sort of like in terms of like where you're standing. It almost like the ground isn't kind of there, and suddenly sort of like Irid is kind of like a couple of inches back from where he was previously standing without having moved.
Okay, this is weird magic stuff. Do you know anything about this? This is not my specialty.
What would I know? Arcane check?
Yeah, I'll kind of check.
Got it.
Also, someone needs to fix my sari because this is my mom.
I can stitch it if you want.
It's not-
16 total.
16 total. You're not 100% familiar with this sort of magic. You suspect it's some kind of banishment gone wrong that has kind of left a bit of an imprint, but you can't be sure. You would have to consult with people who are probably more learned in the magics.
I'm not entirely sure what this spell is, but it's definitely of arcane nature. Maybe a banishment of some kind?
Okay. Cool, because Jack looked at it and he thought it was some sort of curse. That's as far as we got.
Jack sleeps on bagpipes. I
Careful.
don't trust his arcane
What
knowledge.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, so Jack, you wake up and look up, and Irid is suddenly back standing within your camp.
Throwing acorns. I'm like, guys, I know that we've got. This is great. Hi, Irid. Welcome back. But guys, something in big over there, big.
Does it notice us? Is it getting closer?
Perception check.
Yelling.
This is a perception for Charna.
Do
Quinn's
Terra
asking.
and Quinn. Yeah, Quinn's asking, so Quinn will be looking, and Terra as well, because Terra would be keeping an eye. Terra's been keeping an eye this entire time.
You want to do a d20?
Yes, please. Perception check.
10.
Perception. Okay, so.
Quinn has 10.
But also, that whole turning into a necklace thing, is that like a party trick? Kind of a weird thing for you?
Okay.
Got 15 total.
Looking over at the tree line, that seems to have lost sight of of whatever it was of this sort of like hulking shape. It's definitely not coming towards you. It's definitely sort of like within or around the edge of the forest still.
Is there any animals near us? Are there, other than the horses?
Perception check.
Yikes. Oh, fudge me up. How about 10?
Looking around, there doesn't actually seem to be. There seems to be a distinct lack of animals. There's a few sort of like birds, sort of like just going about their morning business.
There are birds nearby.
There's in like the sort of like nearby woodland. There doesn't seem to be any kind of like bird movement near the forest. The birds seem to be sort of like away from the forest, definitely. But there's no other animal sort of like sighting at all.
Would I be able to, am I close enough to the birds to talk to them?
Yeah, so yeah, they're probably sort of like trees about sort of like maybe sort of like 20, 30 feet away from you.
I would like to cast Speak with Animals.
Okay. Just let you know as well, sort of like you will have all had a long rest, so any spells, regenerate spell slots, any HP, you are at full HP.
Okay, random question.
Yep.
Was that natural 20 I had earlier, the first natural 20 of this campaign?
Oh,
I think it was.
maybe.
Natural 20 for a place to sleep.
For a place,
Okay.
hey, it was a decent place to sleep.
It was, yeah.
I slept like a log.
Okay, so tarot casting speak with animals. No problem.
And I would
You
like
want me
to
to do that?
You can. That's me.
No, you said terror. You said terror.
Oh, sorry, Vistra.
Vistra.
Sorry, I was just.
All that is, all the is, Vistra.
Oh yeah, true.
Casting speak with animals.
And I would like to approach the birds.
Okay. You sort of like you see a small sort of like little cluster of blackbirds sort of in a tree about 20 yards away. There's 2 or 3 in there, sort of like just hopping between branches, sort of like just looking towards the ground.
Greetings, my foresty friends. Do you see any kind of shadowy figure over in that direction? And I kind of point to the area Quinn and Tara were referring to.
Okay. Sort of like one blackbird hops down a couple of branches towards you. So looks towards the forest, looks towards you. Bears. Hoot bears.
Bears?
Hoot bears. Hoot bears. Bears hoot.
Great. I will take one of the berries out of the handful that Tara gave me and offer it to the bird.
Hops down. Thank you.
Is there any other dangers of the forest that I need to know about?
Many dangers.
Quinn's like, ask
Animals,
about the
big
red-haired
animals, small animals, big animals, small.
girl and humans.
Have you seen any children?
No children. Animals. Kind of like, sort of like just like ruffling his feathers.
She wasn't a Marie wasn't she a teenish?
Well, it's still a child.
Or was she a child?
I think she was a child. I don't think we asked.
You didn't ask.
Yeah, we didn't ask. I don't think so.
I think she was. I feel like she's old enough because if he was fine with her sneaking out at night.
Are you speaking to the bird?
Quinn knows you're talking to animals, so she's trying to.
I'll offer one more berry and leave the bird.
Thank you. He sort of like grabs it and sort of flutters back up to sort of like the group he's with and sort of like drops it in front of one of the smaller birds.
And I'm gonna walk back over to the group.
Okay.
So we have bears.
Did
And
they say any like what kind of bears? Or it's just bears?
bears.
Bears?
I got bears.
Bears.
And they have not seen any children. So we have a lot of.
We're looking for a
Nuts.
child?
I thought it
Well,
was, I don't think it was a child, Vistra. I thought she was like
it could have
old enough to sneak out at
anywhere,
night.
but we're looking for someone between the ages of 0 and 18 years.
Maybe.
Well, that's
We're not sure. We
that's-
forgot to ask.
It's a big
bit
range.
broad.
Responds to the name Marie.
Yes, and she has ginger hair to the shoulders, and she sneaks out at night, and then she disappeared. It looked like she was taken. From us.
Could we shave Jack's beard and pawn him off as the girl?
I tried.
What is taking place here?
She did. It didn't work.
I'm pretty sure his other appendages would give him away as not being a girl, guys.
Oh, like his arm.
Very much so.
Mm.
So,
Damn.
But
Oh.
bagpipes without the pipes. Well, no, both actually. He's got 2 sets of them, right?
do, do the horses look like they're, something's up?
At the moment, sort of like no, sort of they seem sort of like fairly sort of like they're currently sort of like grazing one of the bags of food that you've purchased for them.
Okay. So that's now nine days of supplies.
Correct.
Is it like morning now? Have we?
It
so
is
we've
morning,
had
yeah.
enough rest.
It is
Okay.
morning. So yeah,
Well.
the sun is starting to rise. It is a nice brisk morning.
Well, guys, we now have an extra person that we did not account for.
Oh, you're right.
and I think maybe we need to leave someone behind.
Wow.
I
How
vote
brutal.
Jack.
Why do we have to leave someone behind?
Because
What
we don't
the
have an...
Or we can all walk.
Quinn?
We could walk, you're right. But then what was the point of buying the horse and the pony?
Well, we're gonna use them at a later time.
Okay, maybe like we could put our stuff on them and maybe
Correct.
kind of like get faster.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got a horse and a pony there, Sparkles.
Well,
The
that I
ponies-
can see.
The pony's name is Pat, and we don't know a name for the horse yet. Maybe Poke. We can have Pat and Poke.
Pat the pony.
Pat the pony, and Poke the horse.
Such commoner names.
That's an unfortunate
Well-
name.
Too bad, Sparkles. You weren't here when we got them. So, you also did not have to cry over. Yeah. Vistra and I were very traumatized.
Wait. Cry over what?
We
died.
thought you were dead. We cried and we cried and we cried and
So many tears.
so many tears. And so, yeah. I don't think you get a say in naming these animals.
How did you
I-
afford
I-
these animals? I thought you said you didn't get paid.
We didn't get paid, but you know, we had our own money. We had pooled together.
I can't go to college now.
No, she can't. We had to use up her college funds. to get
Druids
these
don't
animals.
go to college. They just go off in the woods and smoke.
Who's the druid here?
All right, since Quinn is throwing me under the bus, I just want to announce that Quinn and I split the gold we got from our first fight, where Sparkle's Irid, got turned into a necklace. What you gonna do now, Quinn?
That was not much there, Jack. And I'm surprised you just now talked about that, Jack.
Um,
We're keeping it too.
Quinn, so you lied to me after I've been some
didn't-
sort of mess. You said we didn't get paid.
We looted the bodies. That is not getting paid. I did not lie to you there.
So, kind of Tara's looking up. Are we hearing thunder? Is that what's happening right now? Or is that just someone having a really bad flatulent event?
You
I look
are
at
hearing
Jack.
thunder.
Sorry
You
about
are-
that.
You are currently hearing thunder. There is a. Sort
By
of
the
like-
way, Irid, just want to put down, I totally didn't think you were dead, because, like, yeah, and I
You
didn't
thought he was
cry.
cursed and you wanted to leave the necklace there.
We've got birds, we've got thunder coming. Do we want to move on, you guys?
That might be a good idea.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. Looking up at the sky, you can see that there is sort of like it's not immediately over you, but sort of like there is a storm that seems to be gathering sort of over towards where the forest is. Okay, so
Well, Tara's climbing down from the trees because lightning and trees don't go well together. So
Good
she's
point.
on the ground, and she's ready to get moving. To be honest,
not a problem. Okay,
but all this chat was
so
awesome.
heading back towards well, not heading back, heading towards Neela, carrying on.
Yes.
Okie dokie. So, who is riding what?
My favourite elk is no longer an elk. I'm quite happy to keep walking, especially now that I've spotted that there are quite large things roaming the forest. I'd rather be free to move around as quickly as possible.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
I'm walking.
Walking.
I don't think anything fits me.
Yeah, we didn't find a warhorse, otherwise maybe we would have gotten them.
You'd have to put Pat on top of Poke in order for you to probably have anything underneath you.
How do Dragonborn usually travel? Out of interest.
I mean, same as normal people. I just have to be a really big one.
Okay.
We need a warhorse for him.
Yeah, normal. This is just a normal riding horse. It's perfectly fine for Quinn or Terra.
Quinn's gonna attempt to ride Poke again.
Okay, that's fine. Make an animal handling check for Poke, please. Who is riding Pat?
One.
Nailing it.
Nailing it, because natural 1 plus 2. I got a 3 total, but yeah.
You approach
Poke.
Poke to sort of like untether him from where you've been camped by the tree, and the moment he does, rears up and just gallops sort of like away from you.
Hey guys, can someone go get Poke because I'm not good with animals.
I'm running. I'm gonna
And
run.
that is an investment that I don't want to lose right now.
So you're gonna lose the
already
horse.
running. Tara's already running after the horse.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
It probably takes about sort of like 20 minutes to be able to go and
Holy cow!
and,
Yeah,
and
I'm
wait
just
for
like
Poke
running
like sort of
around.
like to be calm enough to sort of like not be running away. Eventually you bring him back and sort of like you manage to get on your way absolutely fine. Wow.
I think I'm gonna try and ride Poke.
You guys
because
bought
he's probably the-
horses.
I know.
I love it. So setting back off
Poke's with
towards
me now.
Neela. Can I have perception checks from the group, please?
Okay, so everyone.
Everybody.
That's fine.
Does one elk become equivalent to one warhorse?
Probably not really. It'd probably normal horse.
7 plus 5. I got 12.
Okay.
15.
13.
8.
I got 12.
Okay. That's fine. Keeping an eye on
Quinn
the road
is
around.
Minus 2, so I got 10.
Quinn is looking to see if Bob is back.
Bob
That's
Bob
pretty
is Bob is sort of currently with Irid.
Okay.
Bob seems sort of like bumped in at the same time as Irid.
His name is not Bob.
I know. Just
The
like your names
hand.
isn't Sparkles, but you can't stop me.
Is it Hans? Hans.
HNS Hans.
No, it's not Hans either,
Ah.
Shauna.
Come on. Are you sure? I mean, he doesn't have a mouth to tell you so.
There is that in
You'd
there.
just be offending him.
Okay. So, as you begin to approach Neela a little bit closer, the storm sort of like doesn't seem to be sort of like moving. However, the rain has started to set in. Slows you down a little bit. It's not particularly comfortable, but you arrive at Neela sort of early afternoon. Nothing seems to catch your attention on the journey there. So, welcome to Neela.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow. Indeed. Let's get
Yes.
that lined up. There we go. So you approach from the east. The first thing you notice is that the structure of the houses, few and far between as the houses are, is not like that you're used to in terms of the towns and the villages of the area of Starlon. Most of them are wooden. They look very ramshackle. What little bits of stone there is isn't the quarried stone of the Grinjaw masonry that you're used to seeing. It's scavenged, it's foraged. The village itself sort of is. It was a very ramshackle setup affair. There is a slightly larger building nearest you, which does read a very not quite neatly scrawled sign: Doom's Rest.
Oh boy.
And so it does have a light on the side. It from where you are, you can tell it does look like a tavern. It's probably getting towards sort of like mid-afternoon by now, sort of like from travelling on the way here. Welcome to Neela. What do you
Okay,
wish
well,
to
I
do?
mean, I've been. Is there a stable nearby? Can I see a stable for the horse?
Make a perception perception check.
I have rolled 12 votes.
You guys are rolling brilliantly. Okay, looking around, there isn't actually a stable in this village. It's quite easy to see, sort of like pretty much most of the houses. Sort of like it doesn't take you long to kind of like scout out the entirety of the village. It is a very small community here. You do see sort of like a couple of people sort of like sort of keeping their eye out of the houses nearest to the eastern road as you're approaching. The tavern itself does seem to have a couple of people in there. But there's
So,
definitely
okay, I'd
no
like to
stable.
put Poke somewhere safe. So, I guess I see like the Doom's Rest obviously seems the most obvious place to put it, but I'm actually seeing a few trees over here. I don't know if I can click it. How do I?
If you left
show
click,
where
it
it
should
is?
ping it. If you hold left click on somewhere where you're on about, it should ping. Yeah,
I can
okay.
see trees over here.
Yeah.
That seems like a good, but then that's also quite far away. So actually, I think I'm going to try and put the horse over here.
Okay, that's
This is
fine.
how we lose all the
This
horses.
is how we lose our 95 gold investment.
Oh, he needs to be put somewhere. They don't have a stables.
We can like tie him up to the outside of the.
He's gonna get wet, so fine. Well, I'll put him over here then. I'll put
You're
him.
worried about the horse getting wet?
Well, I'm just saying, okay? It's a good horse. He got freaked out, and I got it, and I'm not gonna have run around for 20 minutes for nothing, okay? I'm putting it over here.
I could have just, talked to it. You went running. I can literally speak with animals.
Yell really loudly next time. That will help. Okay, cool. I'm putting it there.
No problem. It's easy enough to find sort of like a couple of bits of fence post outside the Doom's Rest to tie it to. You can sort of like see now you are a little bit closer. That you are. The Doom's Rest does have a couple of people in it. It is a working tavern. It seems a little bit podunk. It seems a little bit ramshackle.
So we probably don't want to stay here long, guys. We want to make sure our horses are still our horses for later today.
I think they'll be fine out in the front of this area. I don't think we're going to be staying that long.
If it makes someone happy, I'll stick around with it. I'll just stay outside, stand guard.
I just feel like that would make you feel better.
All right, whatever. I'm here. I'm gonna kind of like sulk and just lean against the wall with like the tiny bit of shelter that there is.
Okay, no problem. That's fine. What are the rest of you doing?
We're going into the Doom's Rest.
I feel like it's a bad idea.
Feel like it's a bad idea? Or no?
It's just the name. I mean, I think it's a good idea, but also a bad idea because it's literally called Doom's Rest.
Wait, so we have Sparkles here.
Yes.
Yes.
There's people that we're heading to that are looking for him. Is it going to be a smart move to bring him into places?
I don't see why it would be a bad idea.
As long as they don't use another spell on me, I'll be fine.
Do I still have like kind of that weird gray outline thing around my neck, Dan?
You do a little bit. It's faded a little bit from what it was this morning, but it almost seems like it was kind of like it almost seems like it just left a bit of an imprint in terms of where it was. Not lasting, not
It's a
permanent.
Horcrux.
Okay.
Horcrux is just a Harry Potter term for phylactery.
Indeed.
God bless you.
Phylacteries came first.
Are you going into the
Bless
tavern? Are you going to the pub?
Do we want to go? Do we want to go in?
I feel like
Do
it
we
might
wanna
be helpful.
See if we can get information.
Yep, I think that's where we're going to get some
Between the
information.
two of us, I feel like we can definitely let people know we're not prostitutes.
There's 4 of us.
I mean, but the
What have
two
you
of
been
us.
doing since I've been gone?
We're not prostitutes. That's all you need to worry about.
Let's just say Jack does not
Number
want to
one, it has to be
go.
established.
Be the
Jack does.
prostitute if there ever was one.
Jack might be a prostitute.
He might be, but
Well,
that's
that
not
I
gonna let him
doubt.
do any of the speaking.
Maybe you let Jack go first. He's obviously the most courageous.
Jack,
And,
you can Quinn.
None of you want to go in, so.
Are you going in, Jack?
You can go for it, Jack. I'm gonna watch
Okay,
from
so
the door
Jack
here.
picks up all of his instruments and can just about stand with them and starts to heartily but stumbling along the way head towards the village.
Not a problem.
Right
into
outside the
Doom's
Doom's
Rest.
Okay, so going into the Doom's Rest. No problem. So you go into the tavern. The door sort of like swings open. It's sort of like it seems barely connected to the hinge, but it does seem to sort of like work as a door. Inside, sort of like the decor is very, very plain. The tables are sort of like all mishmash, a little bit odd job. There's a couple of people sort of like sat there, sort of like just chilling with a drink. The barman behind the counter, you see an elven man, sort of like very sort of like lithe, sort of like body, very sort of like slim elven features with the ears as you would expect, wearing quite a raggedy sort of like brown sort of like burlap kind of outfit. He seems like he's smiling, but you can also sort of like see sort of like his eyes are a little bit sunken. And he greets you as you come in. Ah, yes, Hello there. How are you this rainy day? Do come in.
Can I ask him to give me a pint of his finest mead?
Yes. How would Jack ask that?
Give me a pint of your finest mead.
Oh boy.
Certainly. Well,
we
we only have the we only have the one type, but we can certainly accommodate some ale. I'm Meridan. Pleased to meet you. And he gets behind the bar, sort of like pulls up a flagon. It's a very plain wooden sort of like flagon. You can tell it's almost been. It looks like it's been sort of like hand carved, not skillfully, but functionally. And he sort of like has that'll be 3 silver, please.
Jack hands over the 3 silver.
Okay, no problem. That's fine. So, are the rest of you coming in, or are you just leaving Jack to the inside of the
Oh
pub?
yeah. No, I'm
Just
coming in.
watch. Oh,
Why don't I go over to the door and signal to the guys that it's.
Okay, no problem.
Quinn will come in, but she's gonna stay near the door.
That's fine. I say there's a couple of people in there. There's sort of like there's 3 or 4 tables within the establishment itself. The 2 people that are in there are sat at the same table, sort of like they're currently sort of like looking up at you a little bit trepidatiously, sort of like you can tell from looking at them. The mishmash of people that have just walked into quite a small village tavern.
2 dwarves, dragonborn, and a tiefling.
Yeah, they're not quite used to seeing quite such an exotic crowd.
A ragged band of
Indeed.
adventurers.
You may be
Wow.
ragtag, but I'm fancy.
Meridan sort of like again looks around and sort of, just do come in. What can we get for you all? Are you staying for long, or do you need a room? We have 2 rooms. He looks kind of like a little bit sort of taken aback, like he's not used to this kind of patronage.
I don't know that we're really staying.
What is our goal here? What is our actual goal?
We're heading to Kunthur.
We're just passing through.
This is all
Passing
out of
through.
character. I'm not saying this as
No, I know.
That's
we're
fine.
going to Kunthur, which is how many days away from us at this point?
It's probably about a day and a half away.
Okay.
So are we here to rest for the night, or?
This was only a half day,
All right, okay.
right?
But isn't it going to start raining soon, or?
It already is raining.
Yeah, it's raining. You're currently inside. So Tara outside is kind of like sheltering herself away from the rain.
Well, we can't get rain on Irid's fancy scale.
My sorry needs to get fixed at some point after Irid Sparkle came, just suddenly appeared.
Irid came.
Whoa.
No.
Wow.
Irid appeared. Let's call this the campaign where we make all sorts of innuendos.
Right. So
I think that's pretty much any D&D campaign anywhere in the world ever.
Tara, I think Tara's going to walk in. She's going to see that the horse is like tied. She can't. I'm guessing that there aren't that many people walking around, so she's just going to leave the horse outside
No,
for a
there's not.
bit, secure.
Okay.
She's going to walk in, like dust off the rain that's on her leather outfit, and just kind of look around at everyone standing.
So is Tara's outfit dirty from the rain and standing out there in like all the mud?
It's more sort of like, I think it's like droplets of rain on the leather that haven't soaked in, sort of like it's just like kind of like brushing off the excess water.
Okay. Well,
Gonna
because I
walk
could
in.
clean it for her.
That's true, yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. Is there a hearth? Is there a fireplace there?
Yeah,
I
that's
can hear
the
one.
crack. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a small fire in the corner, sort of like to the left of the sort of like the bar, which you can see is actually sort of a table that's kind of had sort of like some more wood attached to the front of it.
I'm probably going to walk over towards the hearth just to warm up a little bit. And looking back, so everyone's still deciding if they want to stay. But I mean, I think, can she report in and be like, is the storm getting worse? Can she tell the group?
From
There is, like, is
your
it
standing
worse?
outside, you'll be able to tell the storm. It's not getting worse, but it certainly doesn't seem like it's going anywhere for the immediate moment.
I'll just relay that back to the group. It's like, hey guys, I've just been standing out there and like it looks like it's going to be raining. I mean, there's not much of a wind. It could be raining like this for some time. So I'm gonna warm up here. I don't know what you guys are gonna do for a while.
I just realized that Quinn has a cloak now. Probably not a good idea to be wearing towards this secret base. She could have been wearing. She has 2 of them. I believe she gave one to Vistra.
Yep, true.
But actually, because there were scorpion kind of stuff on the daggers. Golden scorpion, was that both on the daggers and the cloak?
No, the daggers themselves were just sort of like fairly plain, simple daggers. The embroidery of the scorpion was on the inside of the cloak.
Okay. So we're in the thing, and there's 2 other people in here, right?
There is, yes.
Okay, we're gonna. This is too close for Quinn to pull this out to show Sparkles.
Yeah.
This, but guys, what do we want to do? There is some stuff I want to show Sparkles that we got off of those bodies to see if he recognizes them.
We could
need
always
to catch you
rent the
up.
room and then talk in there privately.
True.
But if we want to find this child, teenager, possibly young adult,
We can ask about that down here. See if anyone like of that description has like come through town or something. And
well, yeah, but we would have to hit the road rather than stay.
well, as long as we know that maybe we're on the right track, we can keep slowly going. It's not like there's. We told him he doesn't have to pay us. We just said,
but-
look,
You're right.
we had this whole discussion yesterday.
But, I mean,
yeah.
I don't think a bandit's just going to keep a child alive just because, oh, it's a rainy day, might as well keep her alive.
If they're taking her somewhere, they're taking her there for a reason. If they wanted to kill her, she would have already been dead.
Human sacrifice.
I don't know.
Well, do you guys want to travel in the rain and potentially camp out in the rain, or would you rather...
I'd rather wait for the rain to pass.
Hmm.
Despite this not being my choice establishment.
I mean, I hope you didn't say that too loudly. Rude.
I can
Jack
see
takes
what-
a sip of his mead and he says, "I'm perfectly happy here."
Miridan
I'm
looks
sure
and
you
goes,
are.
Of course you are, Jack.
Very glad to hear that. What brings you lovely folk out to this this neck of the forest?
Wedding.
Wedding.
Tara's gonna like shuffle over to Jack and just kind of make sure that she's close by in case he starts saying too much.
Okay.
She's just kind of wary of him giving away too
We
much.
are taking our friend Jack here to
Wedding singer.
his brother. It's his brother's wedding, and he is wanting to get there. We're heading off to Little Duroc. We came from Cothston, and we're trying to get Jack here to this wedding so he can perform for his brother, like he promised him years ago.
When he was 12.
Yes.
Make a deception check.
Which one of us?
Both of us.
Yeah, just Quinn kind of led that. So make a deception check with advantage because you are it is that
my
way.
Gosh. At this point, I should have taken deception as one of my.
Yeah, you just keep
Yeah, for
lying.
real.
18 plus 3 is 21.
Fair enough. Okay. Miridan kind of like sort of like go,
Hey.
Tara like gives him a gentle nudge, and like one of his instruments automatically just falls off of him. Let's say it's a lute.
No, it must be the hurdy.
Jack the pirate bard. I love
So
it.
Jack reluctantly picks up the hurdy-gurdy and starts playing up a storm.
Ooh, okay. Make
Prancing
a...
around
Ooh.
and standing on the tables of the other patrons.
Okay, you need to. you need to
They
roll
look
for
at
this,
him
Ian.
very disturbed and upset, but he's ignoring everyone, including his own team.
Roll.
Make a performance check.
11.
Wait,
Plus.
Plus
Plus
4.
Ooh.
Plus 4, so 15. Yeah, sort of like Miridan, sort of like the sound of the music sort of like starts to swell, and it's a very sort of like almost like slightly disjointed, but actually quite catchy tune. And so it's very, very, very unorthodox bard is Jack. The patrons sort of like seem to sort of actually sort of like, you know, trying to nod along sort of like with the sometimes offbeat that kind of makes sense. It's very jazzy. And yeah, sort of like Meridan's very happy and sort of like, and then Jack finishes on the table with a flourish. And the patrons sort of like, although sort of like a bit sort of like,
I'm sorry, what did I just
first.
do? I finished on the table.
You did finish on the table.
Wow.
I mean, you did have a performance check.
Oof.
There's a small smatter of applause from the from Meridan and the two patrons. Meridan said, oh, thank you. Yes, please stay for the night. It's terrible outside. It's much, you know, it'd be much better if you are travelling to this wedding. You don't want to be travelling there in this rain. I do have time to be able to stay for a night. I mean,
I think we could, guys. We can stay at your fine establishment, and
oh, thank you. We don't see many people this way, unfortunately. It's not a particularly well travelled road. And he kind of has a bit of a sadness in his eyes as he's saying it.
I walk away.
I'm going to have so much fun just putting emotion in front of you and seeing you run from it every time. So much fun. But yeah, no problem. Can I get you any more drinks?
I'll have another mead.
Tara's gonna ask, like, what's your what? Do you have any meat on the menu?
Oh yes, we can sort some food. Greg, and he sort of like hollers over to one of the two people who are at the table. One of them's a dwarven fellow, sort of is balding, sort of like slightly kind of grey, wispy, kind of almost like sort of like the centre of his head is balding. And he's just got kind of like a wisp curtain around his head. His beard sort of like is very, very wiry and sort of very short and grey as well. And it's just essentially just a mutton chin strap extension.
what was his name?
Gregmere.
Gregmere?
Gregmere. Gregmir. He looks up and goes, yes, no, yes, we can sort some food. And he hops up, sort of like sways a little bit, sort of steadies himself on the table and goes behind the bar. And there's a small sort of like door behind the bar that you hadn't previously looked at, but I say just nips back there, and you can tell when he opens it, it's not a particularly big room at the back. The majority of this inside is 75-80% of the building in total, and you hear a bit of clattering of pans, and comes out with a few bits of sort of cured meat that sort of like looks a little bit probably past its best. A few bits of bread, and a few sort of local vegetables, like a small little salad platter. The vegetables themselves are actually probably the best part of the meal. And brings them out and goes, yes, here we go, yes.
Quinn
Yes.
probably only touches the vegetables out of that.
That's fine.
No, looking at the meat, that it wasn't edible, so she would probably avoid it as well.
Okay, that's fine.
And Jack just obliviously digs in.
Jack, why don't you eat all of this good-looking meat? I think you deserve it after that performance.
Jack takes all of the meat that Erin hasn't eaten on her plate, and anyone else wants to donate theirs as well.
I'll eat the meat.
Tara knows that if what's going to happen afterwards, so she probably doesn't give him the meat, but like just watches him eating it anyway, and kind of marvels at how he can't tell.
Oblivious. No problem. So, yes, to say the evening passes by. Are you spending the entire evening in the tavern?
Quinn
I
was
want to go to
Yeah.
the room and talk about what happened.
No problem.
Yeah.
That's
Ken,
fine.
before we do that, can we get a little information while we're down here?
Truth.
Like, ask about the girl we told we were look for, and then we can head up. Are we fine with that?
I don't have much time.
Okay, we can
Yeah.
go upstairs and talk for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's fine. So Quinn and Irid sort of like go upstairs. There's a very thin sort of like staircase to the left of the bar, sort of like in between the bar and the fire, sort of a little thin staircase that goes up.
Okay.
as I said, the two
So is
rooms, two rooms upstairs.
Okay. So just
it-
me and Irid went up.
I'll
If you-
stay downstairs.
Yeah, if you two wanted to talk, that's absolutely fine.
Quinn's gonna tell the other guys, hey guys, I'm gonna go tell Irid what happened. Can you guys try to get information about the girl?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, let's go talk.
Okay.
Tara's still watching Jack eating. She kind of waves an acknowledgement towards Quinn.
That's fine. So you guys stay downstairs. Follow Quinn and Irid upstairs. So the room itself is very, very bare furnishing. There's two beds in each of the rooms. Neither look particularly comfortable, but they do look better than sleeping on the floor. There's a single chair in each room as well as a small kind of broken crate.
Okay, so we're just gonna go into one of the rooms and close the door, so that way, hopefully. Okay. So I didn't want to show you this downstairs because I don't know who is potentially a part of this group that attacked us. But Quinn's gonna pull out that black and purple cloak
Mhm.
with the scorpion on the inside and
Okay.
show it to Irid.
That's fine. So so Quinn pulls out this very sort of like very quite nice looking material cloak. It's very sort of like very, very dark, sort of like purple, sort of like and sort of like almost black, sort of like iridescent. And on the inside, about the sort of the size of a human hand, is a gold embroidered, thread embroidered scorpion.
Do you know anything about the uncloaked?
What do I roll?
Make a history check.
Do I have that one? I think I do. I do. 14.
14. It's a name that you've probably heard a few times. As far as you're aware, they're just a roving bunch of thieving bandits. They are notorious in terms of the fact that they've never been brought to account. You know very little else, to be fair.
I've heard of them in passing, but not much else. Are they the ones that did this to me?
They're the ones who did. There was, I'm trying to remember how many archers were there, Dan? How many people did they
there was
attack us with?
5 in
It's
total.
4. Oh, right, yeah. 4 on the
Four and a
perimeter, I
mage.
remember that.
4
There
and a
were
mage.
5 people in total. 4 of them we killed, 1 of them walked away. But we got information from him before he did. But 3 or 4 of them had bows. 1 of them was a magic user, and he was what did whatever happened to you.
Okay.
Interesting. And you said that they said get the prismatic? They're after
Yeah.
me?
They were after you. They were not focused really on anyone else. It was you.
That's troubling.
So I
But-
don't know if there's anyone that's coming after you with your status, or
I'm a prince. This wouldn't be the first time.
'cause you didn't. There wasn't, other than like basic muggers and stuff. In the time I've known you, there hasn't really been anything like this.
Some people are getting craftier. Mm. You tend to make enemies being nobility. They could have been hired out.
True.
Is there anything else?
Other than there was a short bow, iron daggers. There wasn't really much on them. Other than we found out their secret hideout is in Kunthur. Which is why we're
Kunthur?
going. Kunthur.
Interesting.
So
How long was I out for?
it was only a day, 2 days?
About a
Yeah.
day and a half.
Day and a half.
So do I feel any like residual magic still on me? Like I know there's something still affecting me, or how much do I know?
You currently feel like kind of like your grip on sort of like this kind of like plane of resistance is not quite solid. I say sort of like you kind
Okay.
of like sort of like feel, but it's hard to describe. You do occasionally sort of like feel sort of like almost like a vibration within your being, sort of like as if something's trying to rip you away from where you are. In fact, make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh crap! My wisdom's not good. Um, my dice got stuck. Hang on.
During this time we're having this conversation, is
9.
downstairs having their
Well,
conversation?
yeah, it's simultaneous. We'll go to downstairs sort of like as soon as we're done with this conversation.
Okay.
But the two will be happening simultaneously. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I rolled a 9.
Oh, okay. That grip on reality, you feel sort of also just slip, almost like sort of like your feet have gone on ice. And Quinn, you see sort of like literally in a flash, sort of like Irid's like kind of eyes almost like sort of like widen and disappear, and clattering on the floor is the same locket that you picked up that you've been wearing. Irid vanished.
What the fuck? Okay, at this point, what I want to do is heading downstairs, but I know we need to have the conversation first.
That's fine. No
Down
problem.
there.
So, 24 style, zoom out from upstairs, zoom in on downstairs. We're left in the bar, sort of Terra, Vistra, and Jack. Jack enjoying his mead and his cured meat. Meriden sort of is by the bar, sort of like looking, sort of like quite attentively to make sure in case you needed anything. Gregmere has returned to his table with his compatriot. His compatriot is a half elven man. Again, it's sort of like it's quite a slightly greying, sort of like ashen hair. Sort of like his face, sort of like, although very sort of still elven and sylvan in feature, is starting to wrinkle a little bit. It starts to show some signs of age.
All right, I'm out of here.
Much love, Tyler. Thank you very much, dude.
Bye, Tyler.
Bye, Tyler.
So Tara has been watching Jack eat that food, which she kind of regretted ordering at this point, and she's like just looking at Jack. I'm like, "You enjoying that, mate?"
Has a hearty constitution, and while he still munches on the food, carrying it in his hands now, with the flagon of mead in his other hand, he just nods profusely. Very good.
I imagine seeing a little bit of that food like in your beard and just kind of being totally grossed out.
Snack for later.
And then looking over at kind of like I guess she'll kind of mutter under her breath and like, you want to talk to the barkeep? I'm kind of thinking I might need to prepare some emergency stomach salve type thing over here. So yeah.
I got you. I will go over to the barkeeper.
Okay, no problem. Modan sort of like, he kind of like watches you approach. Yes, hello. How can I help? How can I help?
I was just wondering, have you seen any kind of odd, kind of different people passing through here that you don't normally see?
We don't really see anyone passing through here. We get the very, very infrequent travel from sort of Garthat, but generally people will avoid this area and go the long way round through Lamolianas.
Yeah, I get that. I've just been looking for a girl, actually.
Okay. Unfortunately, we don't really have the ability to provide those kind of services in this tavern. I know some of the larger cities can provide those services, but we're only a very small village. I'm sorry to say.
You haven't seen anyone pass through at all.
My apologies. No, I mean, you're the first people we've probably had in the last couple of days, in fairness. It's normally just the residents of Neela. It's been that way for decades.
Sounds lovely. Well, this has been a great conversation.
Indeed. When you do set off to the wedding, please be sure to take the actual proper road. I mean, don't. Otherwise, if you end up going straight, you'll end up in Kunthur, and heaven forbid you ever want to go to that place.
Oh, why do you say that?
Do you not know of the doom that befell that village, the town?
I mean, I kind of have a general idea.
Yeah, you would have heard of the doom of Kunthur as kind of like an old wives' tale.
I was going to suggest, I mean, in terms of Tara, because she would have been hearing this conversation as well, could I do like a history check, see if I can pick up anything?
Yeah, go for
any
it.
memories that I've heard whilst I've been walking around? Cool. So my history is plus. Hold on a sec.
Jack as well, actually, because being a bard, you would trade in stories.
So I'm doing a d20 plus 3. Hold on a sec.
I'm gonna sit here formulating how I'm gonna react coming downstairs.
Okay. If Jack can make a history check as well. That's it, Jack.
That's smart, though.
Okay, cool. And both of you would have heard it. It's not a kind of an uncommon tale. All you know of the tale is that a doom befell the town, and the residents all fled.
Okay.
So Miridan sort of like leaning into Vistra. That you don't know of so you've heard of the doom. You know of the doom that befell.
Heard of the yes, yep, yes. But is it really as bad as the rumors?
But we would not have ended up here if it wasn't.
Yeah, weird place to settle down, pal.
We panicked at the time. He kind of looks a little bit ashamed, sort of like realizing this. Like, we didn't have much. We fled with what we could at the time. We couldn't get far with what we had. It was days and days travel to the nearest town to be able to find proper aid, and we camped here, and we.
You just stayed.
We just stayed.
Yikes. Well, we're potentially going to be passing by Kunthur. Is there any tips that you would recommend?
Don't. The place is cursed. People died.
Well, it's a little adventure.
There's things there that were killing innocent townsfolk randomly, without remorse. Men, women, children lost their lives there.
I don't know. I feel like it might be a little bit of hype.
I was there. I lived in Kunthur.
I bet. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm feeling uncomfortable.
She's been listening in, and she's going to sort of walk up to him and be like, well, she's going to try and use people don't see this side of her very often, but she's going to try the compassion side of her, and she'll be like, look, it sounds like you've been through a really tough time. You guys have obviously tried really hard to settle down here, but it can't be easy. I mean, don't you feel like don't you ever wish that you could have done something differently? Like you could have gone over there and maybe stopped this thing?
How do you stop that which cannot be seen? How do you stop the curse which... We're not high mages, we're just townsfolk. We were living a happy, quiet life by the forest.
If seeing what you have seen, do you think only a mage could stop the curse?
I have no idea. All I know is that whatever it was ripped the town apart from within. People were found dead in the streets in the morning.
And there was nothing to be seen?
No. Nothing. No marks upon their bodies. Just dead. The life seemingly just taken from them. And the
Okay, so
messages.
can I do?
Mhm.
I don't really arcana, right? So what does that give me? Does that give me any kind of knowledge about magic that I might know?
For yourself, it'd be more nature. Because being a ranger,
Yeah,
it would be more
I'm just trying
nature-based.
to.
Oh, plus we have nothing to go off of as far as like what kind of magic it would be. Unless we
Yeah,
were
I'm
there.
just trying to figure that out as well. So, like, could I do a search? I don't know, a check to see if it could potentially sound like an ailment or some kind of disease that's like animal born.
Going
So
from
now
just
I'm gonna blame the
grasping at
animals.
straws.
going from just a story, sort of like we've kind of no physical kind of like evidence to kind of like look at. It'd be very, very hard to tell. Make a nature check, but don't hold out much hope.
No. I mean, yeah, I'll do a check anyway,
Yeah.
but just see if I pick up anything. So my nature is, bear with me, it's +5. Okay, so hold on.
You've just rolled 2d4. You want to roll a d20?
Yeah,
There we
I'm
go.
just reading.
There
Okay.
we go. Okay, not bad.
Definitely rule out.
Yeah, I mean, sort of like from your knowledge of nature, sort of like knowing kind of like any animal sort of like influence. There's generally sort of like any disease that's passed on will generally have some kind of physical manifestation, be it sort of sores, boils, sort of like a pallor of the skin. The only other animal involvements sort of like from the forests, say between you and Vistra, is there is a large amount of creatures in there, but again, it's not. There would be marks on the body or no body at all. So you could probably more or less rule out animal involvement. Based on sort of like logic, but you can't be 100% certain.
And
Okay.
Meriden, did you ever reach out to any kind of mage or cleric or security in Cothston?
We tried. I mean, we sent missives and never saw them again. They probably settled somewhere nicer than here. I don't blame them. I tried to get as far away from Kunthur as possible. Unfortunately, I'm not a young elf anymore. It's a long way to travel for me, and we tried to reach out to the Major Zyth, but they're too far away over the other side of the river, and the bridge from Kunthur unfortunately collapsed, and there was no easy way of getting there. We were cut off.
Tara's gonna be to Meriden. Okay, how many of you have actually managed to get out and settle down here?
On last, and he kind of thinks for a moment. So you can see him sort of like recalling names, sort of like in his head and going, "Oh no, he passed." 2 seconds. Let me consult my notes. It's just not particularly many of us left. There's probably maybe 23 of us, 24 of us in this village.
Okay. And how quickly did this all happen? Like, did it happen over a short period of time or a long period of time? Was it gradual?
It was very sudden. It started one night when. Where's my notes on the doom?
You weren't expecting that. No, I'm just kidding.
I was.
No one expects
I don't know
the
where I put it.
Spanish Inquisition.
No one
Ah,
expects
that's what I've heard.
It started one night with with young Jameson. He Jameson Culvert. He was found in the town centre by the well, dead in the morning. Young boy. His parents were absolutely distraught. He was the first. The next night, there was two. There was Angela and Cryther, both found dead, but neither related to Jameson. 2 nights after that,
You've not had any.
Sorry.
I continue.
Oh, sorry. Yes, very traumatic. Trying to think back on this. You'll have to forgive me. I spent most of my life trying to kind of put it out of my mind. It was a very dark
Difficult.
time.
Do you remember any particular visitors coming into your town just before Jameson was found by the well?
There were none. No, none as we saw. We were a fairly close-knit community at the time, and everyone knew each other. So soon all ran now. I don't blame them. I stayed as long as I could.
Of the survivors that are here now, every single one of you witnessed what happened in the town, yes?
Every single one will be able to tell you exactly what happened, yes.
And no one remembers any strangers coming in or any people setting up camp around outside the village, or
no, I mean, or no one really set up camp near us. I mean, we were a little bit out of the way. We just lived off the edge of the forest. There was no one that I know has told me about anything. We considered many things. We considered that it might have been someone bringing something in. We considered it might be a disease spread from the well. We considered it might have been something from the forest. We don't.
Did any animals die from a similar cause?
No animals. No, just people. Just good men and women and children.
I'm really plucking at straws now, but I'm trying to if we know what time it happened, like what time of year, would there have been any astronomical kind of signifiers? Like that, would there have been any alignments of planets and things like that kind of thing going on?
In terms of alignments of planets, you probably wouldn't really sort of know where the alignments are. You'd need a significant telescope for that.
There's no festival or kind of blue moon or anything like that would have happened around then.
No, I mean, from what Merlin tells you, the doom seems to happen sort of early summer. There's no particular significance in terms of time of the year. Sort of, was, in terms of the time that it happened, is just business as usual for the residents of Kunthur until people started dropping dead.
So Tara had another question for Meriden. He's like, so how did your town, your town was very out of the way. What did your townsfolk do to survive? Did you have any kind of business that the town specialised in?
We lived off the land. We were very good fishermen. The South Antillian River, sort of to the west of us, we fished that quite regularly. We had quite a small group of people that used to sort of a good lumber mill nearby as well. We used to export fantastic furniture, and it kind of goes a little bit misty-eyed.
I walk away.
A little bit nostalgic. We used to create fantastic furniture. Unfortunately, I think most of the good carpenters and woodworkers have either passed or never come back to Neela. Not that I can blame them. There's no living here for people. We live here because we physically can't move anywhere else.
So you were basically a crafting kind of village, and you used to sell your things.
We used to have good trade with the west of Starlon. We used to have very good trade with the west of Starlon.
I walk back up to the counter.
Okay.
If we were to, let's say, clear this bull crap, would you guys move back home, or do you think the city is lost?
I don't think anyone would go near it. Too much death, too much horror. I don't think I could go back there. too much. Too much to see it again and remember what happened.
Tara's going to be a little bit generous and give him a few extra coins just to say thank you for the food, because obviously they've been struggling. It's just kind of her way of tipping. So what would be a good tip? Obviously not too good.
Well, you've all eaten. You've all had a few drinks, that sort of thing. You probably would have a tab of only sort of like a couple of gold, sort of like between you as a group.
Okay, so that's the
tab.
meal, right?
Yeah.
Pay for the food, which is a couple of gold, and here's a couple of silver pieces as well.
Oh, thank you kindly. You're too kind. What's your name? Sorry.
Tara, and my friend over there with the
Vicky. I'm Vicky.
Tara and Vicky. Okay, thank you. Thank you kindly. I remember this. I'll ensure your rooms are nicely set. Generous. And sort of like the half elf sort of like gentleman looks up and goes, can you ensure the rooms are prepared? Oh, yeah, just and kind of like wanders upstairs as Quinn is coming back down alone.
Quinn, you have probably heard a door slam as she's coming down, and she's going fuck. And is literally with both kind of the cloak bunched up in her hands and the pendant in her other. She's just saying fuck out of the. She's just walking right out of the inn right now. She is. Yeah, shit just happened in front of her, and yeah, she just needs time to go de-stress.
Okay, so you've gone straight outside.
You guys have literally just Quinn in kind of like, she's probably saying fucking infernal, so this just sounds scary. To
possessed.
Yeah, probably at this point you guys probably don't even want to like even but you guys probably, I don't know, she kind of had, well, yeah, she has the pendant tightly gripped in one hand and then like the cloth bunch in another. I don't know how much you guys noticed, but she is just beelining it from the stairs outside into the rain. She doesn't care that it is a downpour out there.
Okay.
I think she's having a nice time.
Tara's really taking kind of feels quite sad for Gregmir and his friends, so she's still there. Maybe and she knows that she hasn't really hung out with Quinn for a bit, so she's like sorry, God, I can't remember. Vistra, like, eyes, like, do you want to go see what that is about?
That one, I just shake my head.
How dark
She looks
is it
over at
outside
Jack
with the
and is like,
downpour?
Jack?
And Jack looks back at her and looks completely oblivious as to what she's trying to say.
And then she's just
Because
like,
he has -2 perception, so...
Jack, you want to see what where Quinn is going? Jack?
Sure, okay.
How
Yeah.
dark is it out there, Dan, and how far has Quinn been able to get with them arguing?
Yeah, it depends on where you're trying to go. Sort of like, you know, as you step outside, sort of like you see kind of like a few ramshackle houses kind of like across the way from you. You see kind of like a sort of like it's almost like a sort of like an area where the dirt seems kind of like almost a little bit more trodden, sort of like in between some of the houses. You see sort of like a larger building down to your left where it just say the word Hunters on it. It seems to be closed at the moment. The lights are all off. And then a couple of houses around you. There's really not much here. It's a very sort of like
What about
barren,
like
sparse area.
to the south of the dunes? What is that looking like?
To the south, it's kind of like this is the rolling plains. Where's my map? Sort of like a couple of rolling plains, and then sort of like a couple of copses of woodland, but they are a couple of miles away.
Gotcha.
Kind of like a few scattered
there
trees.
Any like areas that would be darker than the others?
The forest. You also know it'd be very dangerous. It'd be very dark in there.
Yeah.
There's a couple of like sort of like a couple of the the woodland copses sort of like around here sort of like would provide a little bit of shade.
Okay, she's gonna head that way.
Okay,
And
that's fine.
is it like still midday right now?
No, it's
Like, how
it's kind of it's towards the evening now, sort of like sun's starting to go down. It's not quite night time yet, but it's getting there.
Okay, she is out there. She said she's kind of looking around for somewhere where she's not going to do any damage to the existing structures.
Okay,
She knows how dry, so that's why she's going to head down towards those little kind of the trees.
that's fine. Jack coming out after her.
Yep, Jack attaches his hurdy-gurdy to the hook, back onto the hook on his body, and begrudgingly steps out into the horrible weather.
Not a problem. Make a perception check.
1.
So you're looking for a gray skin teeth?
And I've already got
Down
-2,
for-
so I'm
Wow.
minus
-1. You kind of like you walk out the door and looking round, you're not quite sure where Quinn's gone. However, you do sort of like spot across the way from you, sort of like the staging area looks like sort of like a good place to kind of like go and take a look at. And you think, oh, she could be over
Surely I
here.
just go completely in the wrong direction.
You do, yeah. As Quinn's gone south, you're heading north, sort of across the road. You as you get across the road, sort of like you sort of don't quite see the fence that kind of lines the staging area. You do kind of sort of like rather not painfully,
Big clamour
but
of
yeah. There's kind of a kind of as you sort of like knee it, rather unceremoniously.
stub my toe and hit my shin. Jumping around, making my musical instruments make even more noise.
Indeed.
I'm pretty sure we can hear that from the inside of the tavern, right? We're just like, oh great, yeah, that's going not well at all.
Jack shouts, "I'm okay."
How loud are you saying I'm okay?
Very loud.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh boy.
Okay, so Quinn's got to this small copse of trees by now. Jack is currently up here at the small staging area. The other two are in the pub, still sort of like chatting to Mirrodin, Gregor, and Generous. Gregmere, even Greg Mere. Who wrote these names?
I don't know, Leon, who wrote them?
Who wrote these names? That'd be me. But yeah, so Quinn, what are you doing in your
She is going to, like, as
fucky
she's
rage?
storming towards these trees,
Mhm.
she is stuffing the stupid cloak back into her bags,
Mhm.
Angrily putting the necklace back on, and as soon as she gets to a tree, she is going to flat out just wham.
Roll for an
Just
attack.
punch it. Okay.
Wham is in bands?
Punching it.
Oh.
He is punching the shit out of this. That would be a 9 plus unarmed strike. Oh. 9 plus.
Be your dex and proficiency.
My dex is plus 3.
And proficiency plus 2, so plus 5.
Oh, okay. So that's 14.
Okay. Yeah, roll some damage.
Okay, and that's 1d4 plus 3, right? Yeah.
Yep.
2 plus 3 is 5.
Okay. You, in your frustration and anger, sort of like launch your fist at the tree, and you kind of hear an audible. The tree itself, sort of like still standing. There is, however, a visible tiefling-sized fist print in the bark.
Okay. Fuck. Okay. Yep. She's just gonna kind of just head against the tree and just sitting there, like, just eyes closed, just letting the rain soak, because this has now happened twice where her friend Irid
Mhm.
has now just disappeared right in front of her. and she feels powerless to do anything.
Okay, no problem. Jack, what are you doing?
Jack is still nursing his toe and shin as he stumbles in completely the wrong direction. Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Okay, are you still heading north?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Okay. Make a
Still
perception
walking
check.
Okay. 13 minus 2 is 11.
Okay. Wandering further north, sort of like looking around for Quinn, sort of like sort of like keeping your eyes around the couple of houses that you pass. Still no sign of your tiefling friend. You do see ahead of you the forest looming very large. Neolo is actually very close to the forest, and you do hear sort of as the sun is starting to set, you do hear a emanating from the forest itself. And you also
Do
see...
I just think that's my stomach from all the meat?
Oh no, you are certain that is definitely not your stomach. It's kind of like
Okay.
it's kind of like a sort of the best way to describe it is like a really high pitched roar, almost like a
Wow.
screech and a roar combined.
Me?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Turn around and run back to the inn and say I couldn't find Quinn.
Okay, so you can't find Quinn. Okay, so I'm like looking
problem.
over. I can see that we heard the clamoring, Jack. I'm
I
pretty
say,
sure.
yeah, I say run back. What I mean is stumble back going.
Did Quinn hear that loud, high-pitched roar? And how near was that?
Make just be what's your passive perception?
My passive perception is 12.
You probably would have heard something with the rain, which I've just realised isn't actually sort of like, there we go, hang on. Let's put the rain in there. With the rain that sort of like is currently beating down, you probably would have struggled to hear it quite clearly.
Okay, but there was some sort of noise that
You would
was
have
not
heard a
rain.
noise. Yeah, you would have heard a noise that isn't rain, but again, it would have been very hard to distinguish what it was, what direction, how far.
Okay.
Oh, I'm looking at Jack, and he's obviously huffing and puffing as he's coming back in. I'm like, well, I heard that you didn't find her, but why did you come running back?
But also, you left right after. How did you not see her?
Jack, because he has no perception, he just shrugs his shoulders and looks oblivious. And he said, he heard something in the forest and wanted to make sure you guys knew about it. Very important.
Okay, so Tara, obviously having seen something earlier, and she kind of, gets into attention, comes, walks towards Jack, kind of gently shoves him to one side and steps outside. She kind of talks over her shoulder at him. Whereabouts did you hear this sound?
Because Jack has no perception of north, west, east, and south, he just points in the general direction of north towards the
Alright.
forest.
So can Tara head out and start scouting, see if she can see what it was?
Yeah, make a perception check.
While she's doing that, I'm gonna go out and just start yelling for Quinn.
No problem. So we're all outside now. Let's have some rain. Anyway, so yes, as you
25.
are 25. Wow. Okay. So I've just had a noise in the house. I'm trying to work out what it was.
God,
It's the cat.
it's here.
That was very odd. Okay, so it was a really weird noise. I can listen back to that later, just to see if it was picked up on the mic. That was really freaked me out. Quinn, you hear Vistra sort of like shouting for you. in the rain, which I've now just put on after being distracted by random noise. Tara, you look towards the forest and you see instantly sort of like the similar shape, sort of like in the rain. You sort of like you can make it out a little bit closer now than it was before, with the forest edge being closer to the edge of the town. You can
Whereabouts
see.
is it? Sorry, where am I looking on the map?
So sort of having stepped out, sort of like, Jack pointed you north. You're there. You can see around this edge here
Oh, right.
a shape, fairly large, definitely animal in shape. You can make out sort of as a crash of lightning hits above you, lights up the edge of the forest just perfectly in time, and you see sort of like the shape, the hooked beak, the eyes glistening, the very sort of like fluffy feathers, and reacting itself to the thunderstorm above with it. You see an owlbear on the edge of the forest.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to yell out, guys, there's an owlbear out there right at the edge of the forest. Where the heck is Quinn?
And I'm yelling for her.
Yeah. You would hear Vistra yelling for you at this point. What do you do?
Kind of almost weakly try to like over here, Vestra.
Vistra, make a
But
perception
I'm
check,
still-
because you are currently out shouting and looking.
Oh
Oh no!
no. That would be a 15. 17. Just kidding.
17. So 17 is enough. It's like you sort of like you sort of see sort of like Quinn sort of like making sort of like a half a noise. You kind of like don't really hear the noise, but you just catch a glimpse of a past the dunes rest over by the copse of trees, kind of like just like kind of like half sort of like waving at you.
I'm gonna go over to her and be like, I know you're like going through a thing right now. Don't want to hear about it. But we've got like you know how I said there might be bears? Turns out it was an owl bear. So let's go, kiddo. And give her a snap, finger gun, and point in the direction.
Okay.
I've got my bow and arrow with me, so I don't think I could shoot that far. Could I? I could. It's a longbow, right? So.
Sort of thing. So you're currently there. Okay. Yeah. Make a. If you want to make an attack, it'd be with disadvantage given the range, but you could
Attack
try.
at this point, but I'm just wondering if I can. So how is the horse? The horse is still outside, right? Is it freaked out?
The horses are here. The horses sort of like a little bit sort of like uncomfortable with the lightning, but they haven't sort of like they haven't heard themselves.
That are okay.
Yeah, no, they really haven't heard the the owlbear
Okay.
at all.
What do I know about owlbears?
Make a nature check.
Nature is +5 as well, so here
Yes.
we go. Team.
14. They're sort of like they're generally nocturnal predators. They're sort of like very familiar with forests. They generally won't sort of like wander too far out of the forest. They prefer to kind of have their quarry and their prey within their own terrain. You're aware that they make dens within forests, and that they are absolutely ferocious.
Okay, so if
They
it's
are-
out
they
at
are
the edge of the
rather-
forest.
They're rather angry. You would know that he's currently hunting.
I'd be like, okay, I'd shout out to Vistra and to Quinn. I'd be like, guys, you might want to get inside because we've got an owlbear and it is hunting. Get inside as quickly as you can. Jack, stay in.
Tara know that Quinn's there? Because she half-heartedly had
Yelling
motioned
out
to
because
Vistra.
Yeah,
I
she
know
would,
that
she would have known.
Vistra's-
She would have known that Vistra ran off, sort of like assumedly towards you.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
We're
okay.
outside, so I'm just kind of yelling out for everyone's benefit. Like, please, everyone get inside. There's an owlbear on the hunt.
I mean, is that really gonna stop it? Is that really gonna protect us? This little dinky town?
Good work,
You
us.
having spent time in the forest, Vistra, would know that sort of like generally they'll generally seek easier prey in the forest rather than trying to come into a town where they're likely to kind of get fended off.
Yeah, you're right. We should probably go in.
Pub.
So I'm gonna yell inside into the tavern and give our hosts Meriden and Gregmer. There's a bear outside. Do you guys have any residents who might be outside at this time? And also, we need some place where we can keep our horses and our horse and our pony safe.
Oh shit! Didn't think about that.
They kind of like look at you and go, well, as
I bring the horse and the pony inside.
Meriden kind of looks a bit shocked. No, we can't. It's the horse itself would really struggle to fit through the door. It would be quite a tight squeeze. The pony could fit in.
I definitely bring the pony in then.
Okay,
I'm
Meriden kind of runs out from behind a bar and goes, no. Generally, we know of the bears in the forest. I mean, the northernmost houses don't actually have anybody in anymore, but the owlbears don't come that far anyway. They have enough food, they can get inside the forest. They don't bother us here. In the past we've had incidents, but there's
this pony dies. You're paying me back.
Okay, and I think Tara's going to be like, okay, it's got to be the horse. It's got to be the horse. That's what they're hunting. So we need to try and get the horse safe or away.
So there's nowhere in town really to put them. I mean, there's the market square. There's some fence by there, but that's actually closer to the forest. The best place is probably going to be behind the tavern. Behind the tavern there's a couple of fence posts. Feel free to tether the horses there. They should be fine. You'll be able to see them from your in rooms.
Do I want to believe Meriden?
Make an insight check.
Insight is, where am I at? +3. Okay, so 1 sec.
Quinn's still at the tree, just letting the rain.
Okay.
You didn't
She's heard
come
all of
with.
this. She's made note that this is there, but because it's on the other side of the woods.
All right, good point.
2 insight.
22. Okay.
Do I believe? Yeah, Meriden.
Is being fairly forthright. You get the feeling that they have had experience with the owlbears before, and sort of generally owlbears will sort of stay within the forest. They'd rather sort of have their prey. They're not particularly they're not sprinters. Kind of like the open ground doesn't really suit their hunting methods. They're more sort of narrow, windy forests where they can their prey is more likely to be trapped and cornered, and they can generally get an easier kill.
Nod my head begrudgingly, but I'll believe him and I'll take the horse around the side. So I'll tell the guys. I'll tell Vistra and Jack. All right, look, I'm gonna put the horse around the back then.
All right.
So that's what I'm doing right now.
Okay, not a problem. Anything else you wish to do for the evening?
Would we be able to see Quinn from our room?
Make a perception check because the rooms do face out that way.
Okay. Natural 1.
Wow.
You have no clue. The grey-skinned tiefling is very much blending into the now sort of as night's falling, greying landscape around in that direction.
Nailing it.
The storm itself, sort of as the night passes, I'm assuming that sort of at some point you do kind of come into
Quinn does
the
come back in.
yeah.
She
in
comes
and
in
just flop in.
soaking wet, but yeah.
Okay. That's fine. So Quinn re-enters. So by this point, you're sort of with Miridan is settling down in a corner in a chair, sort of for the evening. Gregmere and Generous have both sort of left for the evening and gone to their respective homes. The room is actually fairly warm. The climate around this end of the forest is quite pleasant. Quinn eventually dries off. Evening passes, and sort of the horses you can hear poke and pat outside, sort of occasionally sort of kind of sort of whinnying and sort of just generally sort of being present. The owlbear screeches. You do hear a couple throughout the night, but they're not getting any closer. One sounds a bit further away. One sounds like it's probably in the same area that it was previously. Just trying to look for any easy pickings. And as the night passes, the morning begins to break. You've all rested nicely, and that is where we will pick up next week.
Cool.
No one has asked where Sparkles is.
Nope.
I mean, yeah, you're off doing your own thing.
Indeed.
Cool. So
I
that's
came
something to
back at
remember.
some point, but yeah, no one questioned that it was only Quinn coming down.
I mean, could have been snoozing.
Everyone was more focused on that owlbear. That Quinn was like, yeah, that owlbear is not. Don't want to attack it. Leave
He's
it
a
to its
huge
own.
dragon.
Really plays there.
Can take care of himself.
It's a bear that's an owl.
But,
It's
No,
an
no,
owl.
I'm Tyler's character, so we're less worried about him. We believe he can take care of himself, right?
Because he just magically just didn't come back down the stairs.
I
He
mean,
could have been.
he could have
Maybe
been,
he
yeah,
needs quiet time.
exactly.
Who
At
knows?
some point, Quinn will calm down and tell us that he's actually no longer around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
we
been a
can
necklace
deal
for a while. He
with
needs
that.
to,
We can deal with that next week.
Yeah.
So that is episode 2. We have travelled on our way to Kunthur. You've learned a little bit about the Kunthur Doom. May I just say, oh my days, 11 months. Holy crap! Thank you very much for the resub.
Yay!
Zeke, thank you for the biddies. Hello. I hope you are all well. And doorbells in Fortnite. I did not know you could ring them. That is actually quite exciting. I kind of want to try that. Apparently so. So yes, no, thank you very much. Thank you guys. Enjoying it? All good so far?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out everything, and yeah.
It'll come with time. That's it. It's yeah. The more we play, the more it'll make sense. So we will see you again at 1 a.m. next week. Thank you for joining us. The VOD will be up on YouTube hopefully within 24 hours. So if you do want to, if you did catch it partway through and want to catch up, feel free. All the VOD is available on Twitch now. Why?
YouTube is down at the moment completely.
YouTube is down completely.
What?
Yeah, it's going crazy on Twitter.
Oh.
Wow, I didn't know
see.
YouTube could break.
Yeah.
Good times. Well,
Wow, you're right.
as soon as Google has recovered, we will have it on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining us. We will see you next week. Much love and take care. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.